The past week has been very entertaining, and my little world behind the scenes response and all that. I go into the comment section, I look, I see what's up. What are the kids up to nowadays? It's not that I didn't know this stuff before, but I never had it at a volume level of 13, even though the dial only went up to 10, where it there is not all, there is a significant minority, possibly a majority of women who are just pissed off at guys for failing to meet up to their romantic and marriage standards. And I'm very confused because for most of our life, the uniform message, even though maybe not all women agreed with it, the uniform message was, we don't need no man. And kind of depending what mood everyone was in, it was, and leave us the fuck alone. Or you'd have the acquiescing, but we still like, yeah, but it's on our terms. At no point in time, much past adolescence, was it made abundantly clear, a very clear message is that men would never be number one in women's lives. Okay, fine, your life, lead it how you will. Took a couple years, decades for all the guys to wander in the desert because that's a change. That's a fundamental change from how things used to be, right? Guys are chasing girls, girls are chasing guys. You get married, these little things come out called children, family. Never mind, very boring stuff. I'm sure you don't. You know better. You got your career, but the though there is a biological predisposition, that was thrown out. The message was very loud and clear. Men were not prioritized in women's lives. Neither was children or family. And if you look at polling data, which I did, I think it was it World Without Men, or I think it was a World Without Men. And then the Book of Numbers. It's abundantly clear, at least women, when they report and are polled, they're not interested in men. They're what was it? From 18 to 30, depending on which cohort, men were either ranked 4th for women in their younger 30s or 7th or 8th for women 18 to 29. Fine. We got the message loud and clear. And even to this day, onto interwebs, on the social medias, which I admit is not a perfect barometer mapping onto reality, but out there, dating apps is another interesting phenomenon. It's corroborated, right? Your actions, whether deep down inside you believe it or not, the actions generally are one of rejection. No, I'm going to do this. And when I'm 38 and a half, I'll consider a guy. But that, don't you look at you, oh, gee. You don't come from my own one. Like, yeah, we've heard. we got the message loud and clear. So then I say something as simple in multiple comments and posts on social media, like, yeah, avoid marriage. More from a legal and financial risk standpoint, not really a criticism of women and all that. And then I get flack. Also caught flack for saying maybe women, but this also includes you guys too. Maybe women should be thin and have sex with their husbands. And when I said that, oh my God, how dare you in this? You just can't. Don't worry, it's not going to happen to you. You're not going to get a girl. Like, well, wait a minute. I'm awfully confused now. Very confused. Generally speaking, the unified universal message was fuck off, basically. Leave us alone. We don't need you. The data, like I trust Pew Research over I trust what TikTok hewers are spewing to get clicks. But it's a fact. You girls do not have men number one in your life. Okay, fine. Life, do what you want. Read what was it was horrible. Oh, what was the book? It's not Women Don't Owe You Pretty. I read like the top 5 feminist books of like 5 years ago. Oh my God. Go read that shit. Go watch your shows, whatever. But then when a guy basically respects your wishes and leaves you alone, or on a society-wide basis, men leave you alone and say, don't get married. Now you're all pissed off again. I know there's 70 million American women. Well, a lot of kids. So whatever. There's 100 million gals, adult gals. the nation of gals. Be a fun place. The nation of gals were fun. Those are like your tomboys. Hey, she's a cool gal. Oh, she plays softball. And then we go drink beers, and then she invited me back to her place. Ah, she's a fun gal. Gals are highly ranked. Where was I going before I went on 1980s gals? Shit, I just had it. Oh, the guys have respected your wishes. And that's what I was going to say. There are some women, obviously, who don't hate men. They like men. They want to get married. Some very traditionally, some almost to a bad level where you're a doormat. Some, I'd like it, but if it doesn't, I got some friends like that. But it almost seems the anti-male, leave us the fuck alone, that camp of women is the majority, and more or less what society has decided to do as a policy. And you throw on divorce statistics and costs, and guys are like, well, fuck this. I mean, in part because they don't want to bother you. That's another thing. Men are just cowards. Yeah, guy, nobody likes getting rejected, but a lot of it, one, they probably don't want to ask you out because he ain't that good looking, to be honest. But then two, they don't want to bother you. Where has it been inviting? Show me, internet or pre-internet, where women were inviting men, where there was flirtation and all that. Maybe the last time you saw that was the early 90s. But in the past 10 years, Oddball from Kelly's Heroes. Why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change? And so guys are honoring your wishes. They're leaving you alone. They say, don't get married because you girls said you didn't need us, not to mention pretty much all the other behavior corroborates that. But then somebody says, don't get married. Now we're the bad guys again. You're out, you want in, you're in, you want out. You're like a dog, doesn't know what it wants to do. And I'll never get in it. I know you guys. It's time to piss into the hurricane. You guys ready for Uncle Cappy's favorite pastime, pissing into the hurricane? I know I'm not going to get an answer from you girls. I know. But I've always been curious of the rank and file professional feminists, where I get it. You don't like men. Men are oppressive. The patriarchy, whether they're conscious of it or not, institutional this, and you don't like guys. Why are you obsessed about them? Why do you still care? Right? Me, all right, I made a vow to myself. The last third of my life, I'm in the third period now of a hockey game. I vow to myself it's not going to be as miserable as the first 2/3. A lot of that was outside of my control, and I got, stable finance and all. A lot of that was how I was approaching life, right? Getting pissed off about things that rightly you should get pissed off about, but weren't under my control. Stoicism. And even though I'm here, and we got asshole consulting and YouTubes and the philosophy and all that other, and yes, I am putting together a series called the Helping Women Out Hour to help out younger women who still have a future, not to be as miserable as the rest of you, to be truthful and honest. God dang it. It's not a good day. There's other shit going on. My brain's like thinking, I got to put the tarps down. In the same line of stoicism of me letting go, right? I don't get worked up about Mom. I don't get worked up about New Yorkers electing a communist that hates them. I don't get worked up about women, right? It's pretty serious thing. The opposite sex has generally rejected your generation. Generally. That kind of hurts a little bit, especially if you're programmed biologically, right? Okay. But I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, I am, I guess, in the sex war, but I don't think about it after I go home. Even though I work from home. But it doesn't bother me. Girls continue to major in dumb shit. All right. Well, I've tried for 20 years to get women to stop majoring in dumb shit. So you might actually have money and close the wage gap and be financially stable. You have a family member that smokes cigarettes. You plead and beg and implore them to give up smoking so they don't die. They don't listen to you. They get lung cancer. What are you going to do after a while, right? You ruin your life worrying about shit you don't control. And that's what I want to pose to you feminist gals. If you hate men so much, if you're so pissed off at them, some guy says, yep, we're going to leave you alone and not get married. Why do you come in with the yelling and the screaming and the anger and the rage? What do you care? Shouldn't you move on? Do you want to be it's a serious question. Do you want to hate men for the rest of your life? Have your life defined and react to men, those bastards? And I've asked it a million times before, and I'd love to hear it in the comment section. Fine, you don't like guys. In my mind, doesn't that mean you'd say, well, fuck guys, I'm going to go out and go fishing, right? I don't care what guys do. Oh, they're watching the sports ball. They're voting to lower taxes or kick illegal aliens out, whatever, crazy guy, defending the Second Amendment, right? What do you care anymore? Why are you vested in this? You told men to fuck off. They fucked off. Now you're pissed off that they said, yeah, we fucked off. How dare you fuck off? And like I said, I'm pissing in the hurricane. I don't think I'm going to get an answer, but it's a philosophical question, not sexual. It's a philosophical question. Why are you letting something you hate ruin your life so much when you can, starting now, walk away from it? And I'm left to speculate that your biology still is compelling you on an unconscious, uncontrollable, instinctual level to want a man. But it's not in the capacity that's possible in your world. You genetically, like, I could simplify it even more. You know what you girls want? You want a Republican or a libertarian type of guy. Although that's stretching it in today's modern world. You want an old school Ward Cleaver man. He was a World War II vet. He was good looking, probably in shape. Right? You want a jack, good-looking dude. You want an alpha male, of course. Duh, generally speaking. Well, those type of guys do not align with you, not even necessarily politically, though, that too, but philosophically. They're not victims. They're not pussies. They generally will be gun-toting, cigar-smoking, conservative, Republican, libertarian types. But I don't know how or why, but you got it in your head that the most important thing is that they're Democrats and they vote to take both your money away to raise people that hate you. I don't know where you got this addiction to to socialism. Maybe it is because let's be honest, feminism is Marxism with tits. Give us money because we're women. At the end of the day, I have met real feminists by the use of the word. They are women who support themselves and don't ask for handouts and bailouts. Those are real, strong, independent women. All right. But the practical ones, the ones you see in the real world, it's just give us socialism because, and then reason and modern Democrat leftist politics is fill in trait you were born with, as long as it ain't white male. Because I'm minority, because woman. You're not going to find, you all complain the guys don't make enough, but then you go and vote to take people's taxes. Which, by the way, if you bother to look it up, I mean, you want a wealthy guy? The average wealthy guy in a good state is probably paying 40% of his money in taxes, not income taxes, total taxes. So you want a guy who takes care of you. You want a guy who makes money. You want a guy who's industrious and hardworking, has life. But then you want this sensitive acoustic guitar playing, music therapy majoring pussy who donates all of his money to charity and votes against his own self-interests. And then you expect him to want to have sex with your fat ass who ain't attractive. Don't get me started about how how much effort has been tried to go into convincing men to undo their hardwired instinctual biology to find what they find attractive. How many, you probably could have bailed students out of their student loan debts if you took all the resources you spent trying to convince men fat chicks were hot. I mean, really. And I think that's the problem. If you are wondering, this is maybe why you're angry. Your genetics compel you to want a guy that you're viscerally attracted to, But what you want in a non-instinctual biological level, your checklists and all that, which foremost must be that he must abide by leftist philosophy, feminist indoctrinate, whatever, ideology. It's a mutually exclusive event. It doesn't happen. I mean, 170 million American men. Okay, sure. You got some George Clooney's out there that are good looking and Democrat. Wonder if he actually is Democrat, but that's what he says to make you feel good. If I recall correctly, 30 calibers of bullets. What the fuck? 50 Shades of Grey. 30 calibers of bullets. 50 Shades of Grey. Like, that guy doesn't exist. He's like a billionaire, philanthropist, astronaut, Democrat, right? He donates. And even in that one, isn't it like you tame the guy and then the sequel is like she ran off with another guy? When I watched Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies when I was a kid or young man, I didn't actually think I could single-handedly hold an M60 machine gun and mow down the communists of Laos. Right? I didn't. It was entertaining. You guys actually believe. You insist on it. And you can't have your cake and eat it too, which seems to be a recurring theme when we keep coming. Like, yeah, you can't have kids, be a single mom, and then get like the top-notch guy. You can't major in bullshit, take on $200,000 debt for a Middlebury degree, and then expect not to be poor for the rest of your life, or let alone make $40,000, $50,000. Right? But there's this addiction, like you think you're entitled to have. God himself can't make mutually exclusive events happen. Right? That's the. I never understood that saying at first. If you're a younger guy, younger gal, you probably never like. What do you mean I can't have my cake and eat it too? It's my cake. I can eat it. That's what I thought. Well, don't I own the cake? Well, then I can also eat it. No, it means you can't have a cake. Like, look at this cake I got. Eat it and still have the cake at the end. Like there's benefit of, oh, look at this cake I have. And somehow you can eat it, but the cake still remains. That's it. If you eat the cake, it's gone. You want to be overweight, you want to be a feminist and all that, fine. Nothing morally wrong necessarily with that. But in being so, you're going to reject the guys that you are genetically and viscerally and biologically attracted to. And maybe that's why you're miserable. I was listening to a YouTuber guy. I forget his name. He's bald. He's like a happy Ray. You guys know the one I'm talking about? Raymond's Thoughts and Minds. That's Angry Ray. This guy looks a lot like Ray. He's bald. He's kind of got a mustache and beard, younger fella, but he's Happy Ray. And he pulled the data from the American Household Survey and the Pew Research data. And liberal women, especially white women, you're miserable. You're fucking miserable. I'm trying to say, look, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, and that's going to make anyone miserable. So you have to choose. There's no wrong. The wrong answer is you choosing the answer you think everyone else, particularly other women, want you to choose. All right? Which I think is making women miserable right now. Well, what do other women want me to do? Like, do you girls ever ask yourselves, honestly, what do I want in life? Or is it always, well, what does Becky say? Do you say, Trisha, okay, because I don't want to wear a blue dress if you don't want me to wear it. I'm like, well, no wonder you're fucking miserable. Aaron, come up to me. Aaron, what do you want? A redhead with big tits and bad decision-making skills who loves sex and doesn't find lingerie shameful. And if I was still drinking my drinking days, would serve me a Rumplemint's and give me a blowjob while I'm driving around in my truck. I don't give a fuck what other people think. That's what I want. All right, there's other things I want. I mean, if you want, I mean, it's up there. It's like, what else? I mean, What I wouldn't mind having one of them. You guys know these automatic, this is more realistic. They're like plastic beehives that are on tap. You get your own beehive and then you turn the thing and it shifts the hexagons in the beehive. It's all plastic. And then it makes the honey go down and you get honey. But I mean, you got to staff it with bees. Like, oh, you got to go hire Kelly Service. I need some bees. Hire me some bees. I need to staff my beehive over here. Yes, this little condo. Can you staff them? But you do. You go buy queen bee and I think a handful of drones or what. I don't know how the birds and the bees work. Literally, I know birds, but I don't know bees. And then they make honey. You got to plant some flowers and all that stuff around it. That's what I like, But it's not mutually exclusive to other things. I'm honest about it. And you girls got to choose. You can have a man or not and, right? Can we admit the baby boomer women didn't know what the fuck they were talking about or all miserable, trying to have it all? Because there's only 16 waking hours a day, some of which you need to poop and eat and run errands. And you all thought you're going to be doctors and you're going to have a husband who is hot. You're going to raise the kids and then you're going to get your PhD to work at a nonprofit. Like, yeah, over a 78-year lifestyle, not all in your teens and 20s. You have to choose. And for whatever it is, I know because I told you the truth, all you girls are tuned out. They just to be fascist. I don't know how why is that? How does that end up like, yeah, I'm for fascist economics and political ideology. Because I told you only got 16 hours a day to work. At the end of the day, you're going to be better choosing one or the other. It doesn't matter. Like, to me, in my mind, you got three choices. You could try to have your cake and eat it too, which is just banging your head against the wall because you're going to get neither. You could choose men, all right, and fall in love. You're going to have to get in shape, and it requires respect. You could have to lose weight, and get your finances together, all right, and leave the politics that will not allow for a happy marriage. That's feminism does not allow for. I know. You got some guys who are like, yes, yeah, I know. Sometimes it works. Generally, though. Or you can, if it means that much to you, your female ideology, your leftist politics, whatever it is, maybe you just have a really great career or a really great life you want. Fine, choose that, but you don't get both. Both will, you can have both, but they're both going to suck. You can't have a fighter plane and a cargo plane in the same plane. Do you want a fighter plane? Here's your F-16. You want a cargo plane? There's your C-130, C-135, C-1. Whatever, the big old plane over there. That one can do barrel rolls and shoot down MiGs. That one cannot. This one can't hold shit. This one can. Choose. And accept that you're never going to get both. You will never get both. And I think then you'll be less angry. Do you want me to do that? Then you'll be angry. Pay the fucking attention. Those TikTok girls, I think they do it on purpose just to piss everyone off. And maybe you should read Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius. The Way of Monkey book by Turd Flinging Monkey is a great book. It's a modern day, I think, way more applicable book than Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. So that too. But I think girls on the left generally, and most of you are on the left, why don't you practice Stoicism? There's no reason to get angry at men when they said, okay, I'll do what you want and leave you alone. I mean, you're pushing a mental illness by that time. And that was the other thing. What did he say? 18 to 29, 57% of women were diagnosed with a mental issue. Maybe not disorder, maybe not mental, but they polled them and they asked, it was 57%, 18 to 29. 57% of liberal women. Heaven help you if it was just white women. It was liberal women. White women, like 127%. You're not happy. It's not good. And I'm telling you, yes, Go on, revolutionary sisters. You could continue your feminist ideology. You could put yourself first. You could put your women first. You can, whatever it is, you can work. Fine, that's okay. But you're not going to get Jason Momoa. Not long term anyway. And then why don't, when, someone says, yeah, don't get married, why don't you send them a thank you card? Say, thank you for respecting our wishes. Thank you for leaving us alone. Don't get pissed off about it. A lot of men listened to you and honored your wishes. You should be thankful, right? That's what you said generally you wanted, right? Who sounds wackadoo? All right, we're not marrying. We'll leave you alone. Hey, you fucking what? All right, I'm not going to go to the dance with you, Peggy Sue. I'm going to go fishing. Why did you ask me to the dance? You said not to ask you to the dance. So I went, how dare you go fishing? You got a small dick? Are you gay? Despite your best efforts to drive me to the other team, no, it's kind of hardwired. I still like women. There's days I wish I was gay. You know how happy they are? See what a good time they're having? It's because it's dudes getting laid. I'll wait for the answer below to how you could square that circle. In the meantime, I got a book you girls might like. It's called The Menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. They're forecasting about 45% of women of marrying age. I believe it was 18 to, I think they were generous, 45. Maybe it was 35. I think it was in the 40s, though. Most marrying age women, right? 18 to 45. After 45, it's pretty much over. I mean, your third or fourth marriage, whatever. The main market for marriage. They're forecasting half of gals ain't going to be married, okay? Half the guys aren't as well. What are you going to do? You can't be pissed off you're not married. You told people to fuck off and you didn't want to get married. That was your priority. Made the choice, right? So why don't you're going to die? Why don't you salvage your life? Why don't you enjoy your life to the maximum extent possible? And go look at all these other things. That's what the menu is. The menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. Goes through all these different things you can do in life. There's a men's menu. I do not recommend you read from that. I mean, you can read it, but don't order anything from that menu. There's a woman's menu. All right. Because ordering from the men's menu would be mutually exclusive. Like it would make you miserable. I also have appetizers that, like you can share, and then share desserts. It's very clever what I did. It's like, and it's on here. More of a work of art, a piece of, so here it is, the menu, and I wanted to be, this is a hardcover because I wanted to be like them fancy menus. That's why it's big. See how big it is? It's like an actual menu. And oh my goodness. And you wear your monocles and you act like you're rich and you say, oh, I'll have the pudding and other shitty British food. Oh, darling, what are you going to have? They always, the British gals, the rich British gals in Hollywood are always portrayed as kind of waffling walruses. I'll have 6 sides of abortion, $1.2 million in student loan debt, and a bitchy attitude to boot. My goodness, Cathal, what are you ordering? The menu, Life Without the Opposite Sex. And then there's a picture of me and the dog of no real value. I miss that dog. Okay, and then we'll all be happier. There's no reason to get angry when men said, okay, we'll leave you alone. Don't get married. You don't have to hit the gym, right? If you're not going to have men, you don't have to have that obligation. You don't have to go on dates, right? Dates are horrible. You don't go on a date. Why would you go on a date with that guy? You're barely attracted to him, and he took you out for coffee, and he wasn't interesting. He wasn't at your level. Why are you torturing yourself? Let's go to the super chats. Maybe there's a woman in the audience who can answer that for me. Make it so I didn't piss into the hurricane. I roll, therefore I am. 2 Canadian. Oh my, did the wind change direction again? It's going to be a great show, man. It's going to be a great show to watch. Not the show I wanted to see. It's going to be a great show nonetheless to watch. Hollywood's dead, but that don't mean there ain't a show in the theaters. Samson Joshua, 10 generous dollars. I think it's the men they actually want that are ignoring them. It could also be that they're pissed that most men have smartened up and they can't get as much shit out of men as in the past. I speculated on that before. I think you're right. That's some of it. They're realizing men aren't just going to like marry them and give them money. Go watch a couple of videos ago with the other girl screaming because people were slamming on Adam Carolla because he says, yeah, I just lost all my retirement savings in my divorce. Well, you should. They were pissed at him. I'm like, the guy just forked over his retirement fund. Where's the thank you letters? That's why I know. Where are the thank you? Dear taxpayer, thank you for paying for my food, clothing, and shelter. Sincerely, welfare bums. Where is it? Dear ex-husband, thank you for giving me, the money that I didn't work for. Yeah, you worked for this. I know. But yeah, she raised the kids and all that. She worked for it. Can't there be a thank you letter? And then, ladies, if you can muster up the intellectual honesty and kind of look at it from if you can, what is it, empathy or viewing it, sympathy? What is it where you view it from somebody else's eyes? If you can view it from men's eyes, why would men just even bother with this? Right? Why would we get married, right? Let's just cohabitate. Or even better, like you have your place, I have my place, and we'll bang at each other's places, but we're not living together. Wouldn't that mean that you girls can maintain your sovereignty, your individuality, and so can the guy, and his upturned shoe doesn't bother you? Smarten up. Yeah. So I do believe there is a financial component. Yes. Lord Scrumptious, $2. Morning Glory Milking Farm is Morning Glory Milking. It's not Morning Glory Evening Grace. Morning Glory Milking Farm is the next big hit. The fuck? Morning Glory. A monster bait romance. What? The fuck is this? What? What 21? What the 21,000? What? Violet is a typical down on her luck millennial mid-20s overeducated. No. No. Oh, fuck you, girls. No. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, who sent this super chat? Lord Scrumptious, you made me. I'm sorry I even did this video. I truly did piss into the hurricane. I try to help them out, right? Try to take away their anger. And this has 22,000 ratings, which means it's a bestseller. Number one best erotic. And here it is. Violet is a typical. There's a cow here. Guys, just never mind. I'm sorry. Guys, just walk. I'm done. This is what you girls want. You won't date the guy because he owns guns and is concerned. Is this cow, the bull here? Is he a Democrat? Violet is a typical down on her luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated and drowning in debt, on the verge of moving into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in neighboring Camber Creek. She has no choice but to grab it with both. I'm done. I'm so done. 22,000. Whoever wrote this, there's sequels. Oh, thank God. Sweet Berries and Breeding Clinic. I'm done. I don't give a shit about. I am going to reach out to the young girls. I'm going to finish up. I have a list of videos for the Helping Women Out Hour, right? Predominantly financial advice for women, young women, because you haven't fucked up your life yet. And after I do that, I'm done. I'm never extending an olive branch again. Never. Oh my God. Thanks, Lord. Thank you very much. Sweet kisses from Truckin', $5. Cappy, I know you don't like it, but Xping showcased their female bot for $5,900. These gals are shuffling chairs at a Titanic. I do not begrudge anyone anything. Like, I don't care. You girls want to read your cow fucking book. Go ahead. All right. You can't critique guys for getting their sex bots. It's a robot, right? 5,000. Why don't you just go get a real girl by the hour, right? And then if not that, isn't your hand just better or faster? The only one I've seen make a cogent argument for the sex doll is Turd Flinging Monkey, but he's delved into it a lot. And though I would generally disagree, it wouldn't be for me. I understand where it works for him, but he's the only one that why 5? Okay. These gals are shuffling chairs on that. If you give me a Stepford housewife level technology, sure, of course. Reen, $5. As someone in the trenches, especially as a Christian, this is why my opinions are more extreme. One, I dealt with this in person my whole dating life. Reen, I want to know how many women at your church are reading the milking the cow story. You think you've seen it all, man, and then you're like, what? No. You girls want us to go to war for you, right? You want us to protect you from the Chinese? No, man. No. I'm gonna admit I'm not Muslim, but there's some cultural things like, oh, she's quiet and she just, she doesn't read that shit. She's obedient, makes food. Where do I sign up? Is there like a Muslim light or Friends of Islam kind of deal where maybe you're not, you don't want to take up a chair in the mosque because you don't really believe, but can you be, like building houses, like secular Amish, right? Honest to God. The next invest, $10. Us young guys prefer learning component soldering then go to a bar. I took a rain check from going out last weekend because I was driving in a drift event, better than talking to an ungrateful dog. Yes. I think that's one of the biggest advances we've made as society to help you guys out is, for the love of God, don't waste as much time as we did chasing girls pointlessly, right? Ask them out, invite them to your drifting event. I gave up so much fun, so much money, so much sleep, going to bars, nightclubs, this or that, taking girls out. It's just no. No. All for them to get pissed off when you leave them alone and then go read cow sex. 22,000 views. Not views. Purchases, reviews. That's not even the purchases. That's just the people who decided to review it. Fuzzbrain, $5. Cappy's new book is going to be about milking cow. No, really? Now you call. I'm in the middle of something. I'm talking about cow sex, damn you. This is important. Have you thought maybe I've made some wrong life choices that I read about cow sex? Just everyone's got their fetishes. I don't, feet people are weird, but they're not hurting anyone. They say, hey, maybe I ought to go take a home ec class. Maybe I ought to hit the gym. Maybe I ought to let my hair grow out and dye to normal color. I'm ridiculous because I want a hot redhead with big tits to serve me drinks and have sex in the kitchen. I'm tame, man. I'm tame. Oh, you're disgusting pig. You guys want women. Cow sex. That's my answer. Cow sex. I'm just saying cow sex now. Please shut up. Cow sex. That's like the Trump card. You slam that down. Everyone has to shut up. Cow sex. Reen, $5. I bet Cappy hasn't heard of the Minotaur book. Oh, that's what it wasn't. It a Minotaur book? It was a ball. There's a Shoe on Head video on it. If you're I have zero respect for Shoe on Head. She just got by on her looks. She is not. I'm sorry, she's not an equal. She had life played on easy mode. I will not listen to her stuff. Don't hate her. Don't wish anything bad. I'm just not listening to someone like, oh my God, OMG. Did you know thing and stuff? Yes, we knew it 10 years before your 98 IQ brain got hip to the jive. Thank you very much, sweetheart. Sweet kisses from Truckin', $5. They have 45 different definitions of great, but fantasize about giving a tug to mythical creatures. Lost the plot. I don't care. I thought I had a pretty depressing, cynical, yet accurate view of sex relations. It wasn't cynical enough. I was too optimistic. Look at me, my dopey self. Hey, if you want to turn into the Helping Women Out Hour, we talk about degree choices and career choice. Look at my stupid dumbass over here. God. Operation Evil. Why didn't I think about cow sex? Why I could be a multimillionaire book author right now. Cow sex. I would have never thought of that. I have an innocent, sweet little Harlequin romance book story. It's very cute. It would be on par with one of those 50s, 60s romantic comedies that everyone could kind of enjoy, even the guys. It's darling. It's very cute. No cursing. Very simple. Very simple. And I thought, well, I could look at, and I looked into like Harlequin. They do movies. Or no, that's the Hallmark Channel. But in any case, you only get paid like 30 grand as a writer. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to write no fucking book for 30 grand. And then maybe I got to pitch it to Hollywood, but it would involve straight people enjoying each other. I mean, not even a sexual, they just enjoy each other. Yes, the main person would be a white male. I have a different one where the main person is a black male. Why are you trying to be diverse? No, when I came up with the character, I was just like, yeah, he's a black guy. When I came up with this guy for the Harlequin romance thing, I'm like, yeah, it's a white dude. Brown hair, brown eyes. Not blonde, not blue eyes. Just, yeah. However, there is a black guy, and I know the actor I want to play the black guy if this were to ever be made into a movie. But I'm sorry, ladies, you're not fucking barnyard animals in this one, so I guess it's going to go nowhere. God. All right, I'm going to go play the Yakuza video game where there are very innocent, nice, sweet plots. I'll see you guys later. Toodles.